Good afternoon, students. Today we shall start with lecture number 25B of module 3. And here in the previous session we have discussed the design of simply supported rectangular section RC beam. In that we have calculated the dimensions, the loads acting on the structure and design bending moment and shear force. Along with that we have calculated the limiting moment of resistance. Once the limiting moment of resistance is being calculated, we have checked or we have compared the values of mu and mu limit. Based upon that comparison, we are able to decide whether the section is to be designed like a singly reinforced section or doubly reinforced section. In the previous session, we have decided that mu value is more than mu limit, hence the section is to be designed as doubly reinforced section. And we have also calculated the value of AST, that is both AST and AST1 we have calculated. Now in the today's session we are going to calculate the shear reinforcement required. Along with that we are going to check for the deflection and then discuss the detailing of doubly reinforced rectangular section beam. Now all these parameters are checked or solved in the previous session itself. And here to brief regarding the previous session. In the previous session we are able to calculate the value of AST, that is summation of AST1 and AST2, where AST1 is calculated to resist the moment of mu limit and AST2 is calculated to resist a moment of mu minus mu limit, that is being given here. And based upon the codal provisions of IS 456, that is annexure G, we are able to calculate the value of AST1 as well as AST2. Once we get the value of AST1 and AST2, we get the summation, and that is the total value of AST. Then we are able to calculate the value of ASC also, that is area of steel in compression. Now once AST and ASC are being calculated, next thing is to assume the diameter of the bar and then calculate the number of bars required. And even we have calculated the value of minimum AST and maximum AST, and this is done according to clause number 26.5.1.1 from IS 456. AST minimum is considered as 0.85 BD divided by Fy, and AST maximum is considered to be 0.04 B into D, that is overall depth. And the AST calculated is more than AST minimum and less than AST maximum, hence AST required would be same as that of AST calculated, that is 1658.49 mm square. Now once AST is being calculated, the diameter of bar is being assumed. For the tension zone, the diameter of bar assumed is 25 mm diameter, and the number of bars will be equal to AST required divided by cross sectional area of 1 bar. So we'll be getting 3.38 number of bars, and we are going to round it off to the next round figure, that is 4. So we can say that provide 4 bars of 25 mm diameter as tension reinforcement. And the next thing is ASC. Even for the ASC, we are going to assume the diameter of bar, that is 20 mm we have considered. Since AST is more, we have considered the larger diameter. ASC is lesser, we are considering the lesser diameter bar. So considering 20 mm diameter bar, we are going to calculate the number of bars, and here we get approximately 3 number of bars. So provide 3 bars of 20 mm diameter as compression reinforcement. Once the number of bars and the diameter of bar is being decided, next thing is to calculate AST provided and ASC provided, because the required value will be that different from that of provided value. Since the required number of bars here in the tension zone is 3.38, we are not providing exactly 3.38 number of bars. It is not possible also. So we are providing how many bars? We are providing 4 number of bars. So since we are providing 4 number of bars, what is that reinforcement we are providing? That we need to find out. So AST provided is equal to 4 into cross-sectional area of 1 bar, that gives us 1963.49 mm square. Similarly for ASC provided, it is 942 mm square. Now once we are done with this, the next thing is to calculate the shear reinforcement and to check whether nominal shear reinforcement is to be provided or shear reinforcement has to be designed. In order to check for that, we need to have two values, that is tau v and tau c. Tau v is nothing but nominal shear stress and tau c is design shear stress. So in the previous step itself, we have calculated the value of Vu, that is 119.63 kilonewton. 119.63 kilonewton. So the same value we are going to consider here, that is shear capacity of the section. So tau v is equal to Vu by Bd. Again, this is from the codal provision. We can just refer to clause number 40. You will be getting the equation here. Page number 72, clause number 40 gives you the equation for shear reinforcement. Let me show you that. Yes, here nominal shear stress is being calculated using Vu by Bd. The same equation we are using for the calculation of tau v now. Now once tau v value is calculated, here Vu 119 into 10 to the power of 3. This 10 to the power of 3 is considered in order to convert kilonewton into Newton, because will be in terms of Newton per mm square. So even we need Newton per mm square. So this is the reason why we are using only the Newton and millimeter as the units. And the next thing is to calculate the value of PT, that is 100 AST provided divided by BD. This is again from the table 19 of IS 456. So AST provided is already been calculated. Substitute the same value and calculate the value of PT, that will be 2.24 after substitution. And now the next thing is referring to table 19, depending upon the value of PT, that is 2.24, and of concrete given in the example, that is M20 grade of concrete, we need to find out the value of tau c. So tau c is to be calculated using table 19. Let me show you the table. Okay, here in the table 19, we have for M20 grade of concrete and for 2.24, this 2.24 percentage of steel, it lies between 2 and 2.25. It lies between 2 and 2.5. So for M20 grade concrete, the value has to lie between 0.79 and 0.81. And the percentage of steel is very much nearer to 2.25, 2.24 and 2.25. So almost for M20 grade of concrete and percentage of steel equal to 2.24 will be 0.81. It will be 0.81. If you cannot decide on your own, depending upon the value, you can just do the interpolation as we have done in the previous design. That is in the design of singly reinforced rectangular section beam. You can do the similar calculation. So for 2.24, we are considering the tau c value equal to 0.81. Here we have tau c value equal to 0.81 Newton per mm square, and we know that now tau c is less than tau v because tau v value is 1.37 Newton per mm square. So tau c is less than tau v, hence we need to design the shear reinforcement. We cannot provide the nominal reinforcement now. Now the reinforcement is to be designed. So in order to design the reinforcement, what we are going to use is the equation VUS is equal to VU minus tau c into BD. Again, this is from the codal provision. Here, shear reinforcement shall be provided to carry a shear equal to VU minus tau c into BD. So the strength of shear reinforcement VUS is equal to VU minus tau c into BD. So substituting all the values, we get the value of VUS is equal to 48.75 into 10 to the power of 3 Newton. If we convert Newton into kilonewton, it will be 48.75 kilonewton. Now the next thing is to assume the number of legs and the diameter of stirrups so that we can calculate the spacing between the stirrups. We need to assume the number of legs and the diameter of stirrups for the spacing calculation. So how we are going to calculate the spacing now? In order to calculate the spacing, we are going to use for vertical stirrups. Now we'll assume that we are going to provide vertical stirrups, that is 2-legged 6 mm diameter vertical stirrups. So VUS is equal to 0.87 Fy ASVD divided by SV. And here interchange SV and VUS. VUS the denominator, SV take it to the numerator on the other side. So SV will be equal to 0.87 Fy ASV into D divided by VUS. The same equation is used here in order to calculate the spacing, and we know that ASV is the area of shear reinforcement, that is 2 number of legs, so 2 into pi by 4 into 6 square, that is cross sectional area of 1 bar. Such there are 2 legs, so it will be multiplied with 2. So once we substitute all these values, we are going to get the value of SV, that is spacing between the stirrups, as 146.58 mm. Now this spacing is compared with another 2 values, that is 0.75 D and 300 mm. 0.75 D and 300 mm. 0.75 D is nothing but 262.5 mm and 300 mm. Out of these 3 values, that is spacing calculated 0.75 D and 300 mm. Out of these 3 values, whichever gives you the minimum, that value we need to take it as the spacing between the stirrups. So here out of 3 values, 146.58 mm is the minimum value. So we are going to consider this value for the spacing of stirrups. And now we can write that provide 2-legged 6 mm diameter stirrups at a spacing of 1 center to center. Remember, spacing is to be rounded off to lower digits and number of bars will be rounded off to higher order. So here you cannot consider it to be 150 mm center to center. You need to consider less than 146, less than 146 mm. So we have considered the spacing between the stirrups as 140 mm center to center. Now the next thing is check for the deflection. Once we complete the shear calculation, next thing is to check for the deflection. In the check for deflection, we need to prove that L by D permissible is more than D actual. In order to both of these, it will be written as L by D basic into KT into KC into KM, where L by D basic is from the span to effective depth ratio, which is considered as 20 for simply supported beam. KT refers to modification factor for the tension reinforcement. KC refers to modification factor for the compression reinforcement, and KF refers to modification factor for the flanged section. So now we need to calculate all these three modification factors. In order to calculate the modification factor, we need to refer to the figure number 3, 4 and 5. Figure 3, 4 and 5. So from the, figure 4, 5 and 6. From the figure 4, the figure 4, we can get the value of, so in order to calculate the value of KT, we should know the percentage of tension reinforcement and we should know the value of Fs. So in order to calculate Fs, we are using the equation 0.5 Fi divided into area of cross section of steel required divided by area of cross section of steel provided. So we have used Fs is equal to 0.58 Fy into AST required divided by AST provided. So AST required and AST provided values are already calculated previously. Substituting those values, we get the value of Fs to be 0.3 Newton per mm square. And PT value is already calculated while calculating the value of tau c. So PT value turns out to be 2.24. Comparing Fs and PT value, we get the value of KT. So in order to consider this value of KT, PT value is 2.24. So it lies somewhere here in this zone. And Fs value is 203. So it lies between Fs equal to 190 and Fs equal to 240. So the curve lies between these two. So if we take the horizontal projection of this point, then it lies somewhere between 0.9 to 1. It lies somewhere between 0.9 to 1. So we can consider here 0.95. So the projected point lies between 0.9 to 0.95 to 1. So we are considering 0.95 as the value of KT. Now once KT is done, next thing is to calculate the value of KC, that is modification factor for the compression reinforcement. In order to calculate the modification factor for the compression reinforcement, we'll be referring for figure 5. Here, percentage compression reinforcement, that is PC, 100 ASC provided divided by BD, that we need to calculate. PC is equal to 100 ASC provided divided by B into D. ASC provided is already calculated in the previous point, that is 942 mm square. So once we calculate that, substitute that value of ASC provided, B and D, we get the value of PC to be 2.24 again, 2.24. Once we get this value of PC, it is very easy to check with the value of KC, 2.24. So it lies between 2 and 2.5. So somewhere around here. So it lies between 1.4 to 1.5. It lies between 1.4 to 1.5. So here it is being considered as 1.42. Kc value is considered as 1.42 and Kf value is considered to be 1 since we are not designing for the flanged section, we are designing for the rectangular section. If you are not designing for the flanged section, Kf value is to be considered as 1. So once we are done with the calculation of Kt, Kc and Kf, we will be substituting that in the equation and getting the value of L by D permissible, that is 26.98. That will be getting it as 26.98. Next thing is to calculate L by D actual. So L by D actual is nothing but effective span divided by effective depth. So it will be giving us, or the value is 16.57. So comparing L by D actual with L by D permissible, we can say that L by D actual is less than L by D permissible, hence the design is safe. So here we end up with the design of doubly reinforced rectangular section B, only the numerical part, but still we need to do the detailing, or we need to show the reinforcement details in the longitudinal section as well as cross section. So here we can say that this is the longitudinal section of the beam where the span is being shown and the width of the support on either side is being shown, and it is a cross section. Let me take the cross section at this particular level, that is if I say this is section XX, so cross section XX details are being shown. Now here at the bottom, as we have discussed in the previous design for the singly reinforced rectangular section beam, at the bottom we have the tension reinforcement, that is 4 bars of 25 mm diameter as tension reinforcement, and the same bars in the cross section they will be look like a dot. So there are 4 bars and here it looks like a single line in the longitudinal section, and at the top we have the compression reinforcement instead of hanger bars for the doubly reinforced rectangular section beam. So there are 3 bars of 20 mm diameter as compression reinforcement, and the same thing are shown like dots in the cross section, and the vertical bars or vertical strands here in the longitudinal section, they represent the stirrups, that is 2-legged 6 mm diameter stirrups at a spacing of 140 mm center to center, and it is visible like a ring in the cross sectional view. So here we can show the overall depth, that is capital D. You can just write the value for this, and even we can show the value of effective depth from the center point of the tension reinforcement to the topmost compressive fiber. This is referred to as the effective depth, and breadth can be shown as B. And even We can show the effective depth. It will not be exactly center to center distance. It depends upon the codal provision again, either it is center to center distance between the supports or clear span plus effective depth. So depending upon that criteria, we can even show the effective span in this detailing. So here we end up with the design and detailing of doubly reinforced rectangular section beam.